What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people. Need you be entertained? Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Man, I'm doing a lot of weddings. Oh my goodness. So many weddings are popping up. People are getting married around here. This is great. I'm so excited about that. And there's a couple of corporate events coming up. Christmas time and just the season. 'Tis the season to get your company parties together. Very stoked about that. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have ECHOSEVEN. Well, quite a few members of ECHOSEVEN. You remember them. You remember them, my loyal listener. I got Allon, McCall. I got Justin Larracey and Marcus LeBlanc coming up on the program of ECHOSEVEN. Yes, those are the rockers out of New Brunswick, Canada. Oh, Canada. Like I know the national anthem. I need to learn something, okay? I need to sing the national anthem of Canada, even though I live in the United States. Doesn't make me a traitor. Makes me a person that loves the world. Yes, and music brings the world together. I'll tell you. And you're going to get to hear what's going on with ECHOSEVEN in the next few minutes. This week's shows, I have two public shows coming up. I'm on Friday night. I'm at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. My usual Friday night gig, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. They got new menu items. They got a brand new management. The guy that the people that own the Italian restaurant in Conway, Arkansas, up on 65. Across from the movie theater. Man, I wish I could remember what the name of the Italian restaurant is. Well, anyway, they bought the Rab, and they're changing up the menu, making all kinds of new tasty treats. They sent me home with some pulled pork last week. Still making my mouth water thinking about it. But, yeah, there's some good food at the Rab. And what is it? The more you eat, the more you can drink. Hey, it's not me. It's science. Sounds right, doesn't it? Oh, well, drink responsibly. And there's also a pool tournament. There's 10 diamond-styled pool tables there at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool, I encourage you to do so at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Now, I did have a wedding planned for Saturday, but the groom called me Monday. He called me Monday, and he said, hey, I got to postpone. Is that okay? And I said, yeah, I guess, but I don't have anything to do right now on Saturday. And that's very unusual. I got a Saturday night off, but that's okay because I am working on Sunday. I'm doing the Conway Pride Parade. I don't think I'm doing the parade. I'm not going to be DJing through the parade, but they have the pavilion at Laurel Park in Conway, Arkansas. I'll be set up under the pavilion with the karaoke stuff, but there's going to be 30 performers. I think they're drag queens. I haven't got it all nailed down yet, but they've been sending me their song selections all week long. So it should be kind of interesting. I've done some shows down in Miami, the Florida Keys, and even at the Discovery in Little Rock, Arkansas, where they've had drag shows. But there's scheduled to be 30, count them, 30 drag queens in Laurel Park on Sunday afternoon. I think it starts at noon and it goes till about 5 in the p.m. So be there. And if they run out of singers, I'll have the karaoke set up. So if anybody wants to sing, hey, I'm game. Let's go. Let's have some fun. That's the Conway Pride on Sunday at Laurel Park in Conway, Arkansas. Be there. All right, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with ECHOSEVEN. I got Allon McCall, Justin Larracey, and Marcus LeBlanc on the Skype. So ECHOSEVEN. So Skyping ECHOSEVEN. now. Allon McCall, my man in New Brunswick, I'm guessing, of ECHOSEVEN, the backbeat, the legend. It's so good to have you on my screen, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Man, last time we talked, it was a free for all because we had so many people on the call, and it was kind of tough to usually these things are much better one-on-one, just like we're doing right now. But, you know, it was nice to have the whole band, ECHOSEVEN, on there. But, you know, it's good. We're going one-on-one. The man with the backbeat. And I know that your songs are so, man, they're drum and bass driven. You know, but then you got that hard rocking guitar. I can't discount all four of the pieces in that band, you know, play their own parts. And, you know, a lot of the songs start out with a boom, 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 boom. And then they, you know, the guitars come in, and then the you know, of course, your beautiful lead singer with their French accent, just so wonderful, so marvelous, comes right up into the front there, and just it's a well-oiled machine. But tell me what ECHOSEVEN's been doing, and what Allon McCall in particular has been doing.
Well, first off, man, it's good to talk to you again. It's we've been busy. Last time we spoke, I believe we had released "Born from Ice." I think that was the single that we had just released. So that would be last year around this time. And so it's been almost a year. And we've put out an EP called X-Ray in Use. So it's a 7-track EP that we put out in September. We've got the video for Blame, the latest single off the EP that's out on YouTube right now. And we're still doing our maritime tour in support of the EP. We have one more stop in Fredericton. At the Broken Records Bar here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. We're doing that on November 18th. We're playing the show with Within Harm's Reach and the Daily Grind, two other bands that are from New Brunswick. So it's been good. It's been busy. It's been good. You know, a lot of great feedback that we're getting from the EP, which is really nice to hear. But I mean, personally, I don't think I've had a moment to kind of like sit back and absorb it all. I've been so busy, you know, booking shows and trying to promote and market and push the EP. Once this tour is done, I'm going to have to take a moment and just kind of settle in and let it all kind of sink in, I guess, of what we accomplished this year. But it's been a lot, man. It's been a whirlwind, but it's been good.
Man, so good. And for people that are listening to the audio version, while you've been talking about the shows that are coming up and all the stuff that you've been doing over the last year, I am privileged. I got a copy of the EP ECHOSEVEN in my hands. Not a lot of people listen to CDs too much anymore. It seems like that's going the way of the dodo. Everything is online. And I encourage you, my loyal listener, to go and follow all the places of ECHOSEVEN. Now, you know, you are strictly with ECHOSEVEN, because I know you do a lot of producing. Do you do the producing only for ECHOSEVEN? Are you engineering for anybody else? Are you bringing up any of the future, the new people?
Not at this time. I did that basically when I moved to New Brunswick. I started a production company and I started a recording studio. And I was open to the public, and I was signing artists and such. And so that ship has sailed. That was a very trying time, a very, very interesting time. But I mean, you know, it was very stressful. And, you know, I had to take some time off, and there was a point in time where I didn't think I was going to write music again and be bothered. And, you know, I let some time pass and things, you know, I regrouped and just kind of got my head back in the game. And then, you know, the opportunity to create another band came along. And so right now I strictly produce and write and, you know, record, mix and master for ECHOSEVEN. So that's what I've been doing right now. And as a side note, now I've got 2 other band members who claim they're ready to join the call. So if you don't mind, Dan, I'm going to add them to the call and have these guys chime in as well, if that's okay.
All right, we're gonna have a free for all. Looks like Stephanie Roy and
I don't know about Steph. I know Marcus.
Okay, I see.
And Justin. So
okay, because it says Stephanie Roy and 2 others are coming up. So I got Marcus coming up. And, the people, whoever's doing the talking will be the one that's on the screen. And if you'll keep that phone sideways again, it'll fit in my broadcast software real nice so people can enjoy the full view of you on the video. But if anybody else wants to chime in, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm trying to find him on. I'm going to invite him to Skype first. Justin should be already. He's not in.
Well, we're off to a great stop. These are the lulls in the conversation that I have to snip out if I am good at editing.
I apologize.
No need to apologize. The more the merrier. Like I said, last time we had 4 or 5 of you on here at one point, and I think the background, if anybody cares to take a look at the last video that we did, just look up What Makes You Famous, ECHOSEVEN, and you'll see we were all like in the woods, little heads in the woods. It was such a fun video, but a good conversation as well.
Wait a minute, was that even longer than a year, Dan? Has it been longer than a year? Because that would have been.
It might have been.
When I Am the Tree so has it been over a year?
It might have been over a year, but I see that we got Justin Larracey up there, and if you say a few words, you'll pop up on screen. Say something, Justin.
Yeah, what's up there, KeysDAN?
Well, hello. Yeah, if you keep your
no see.
Oh, it's so good to see you, man. Your beard got longer. It seems like, my goodness.
Well, I trimmed her down there.
Okay, all right.
It was covering my face before.
Well, maybe that's the difference. I shaved my head close, and then I took almost all the hair. I got a new razor, and somebody at the club that I do on Friday night says, "Hey, your face looks different." And I said, "Yeah, you can see all the fatness because I don't have a beard anymore, and not even any scruffy." But
that's kind of why I don't shave it.
I think Seth Rogen famously says that he wears the beard because he can shape his face a little bit better, and I think that's the reason that most guys wear beards, is to shape their face. If you'll turn your phone sideways, it'll fit in my broadcast software, and then you'll be able to see the full view of you. Of course, you have to have the rotation on your phone. I love it. But whoever's doing the talking will be the one that it has their beautiful face right there next to me. So now we're getting to see Justin's room, and that's a cool thing.
Okay, Marcus. All right, cool.
And I see Marcus, man. My man Marcus wearing a headset. That guy's a pro. You can tell he does these things.
All I got, man.
Yeah, I can tell you're wearing the headset because it sounds so good where you are.
Well, thank you.
All right, so sound off. Justin plays what?
Justin is guitar player. There are guitar gods.
Well, okay, is the bass player on as well?
No, Luke is not on tonight. Probably working tonight.
Okay, so we got 2 guitars, and from what man, what I like is that you take the time not only to make this music that's hard driven and well produced. So I got to give kudos to you, Allon McCall, if you're the one that's the driving force on the engineering side and making sure that every instrument gets heard and is level. Because all right, I have I had an uncle, a step uncle, named Ricky Sanders. He played in a band called Crier, and I think he still plays drums. So he's a drummer. And I remember growing up, Uncle Ricky, had a room with eggshells, egg cartons all over his room and carpet, so it can deaden the sound and he wouldn't bother his parents so much. But I remember there was an album that he had the hand in producing. So guess what you heard in that album more than anything else was the drums. Boom, 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 boom. And then you heard little guitar. And then little voice. La, 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 la. But boom, 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 boom. You got to be an engineer that gives everybody their due. And I got to give you kudos once again. You do.
Well,
But
I appreciate that. I mean, it's the production end is a team effort. Like when we go in and with mixing time, I will do several mixes, if not a dozen or so. And I put them in the group chat and I say, listen, guys, give it a listen and let me know what you think. Because being the drummer and being involved in the project from the inception to the completion, you miss things, and that's just the reality of sound and everything else. So the balance of everything is definitely a team effort. My band is not they're not shy to tell me when things don't sound right.
Yeah.
They are very quick to be like, hey, this doesn't sound right. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Did you miss this? I hear that, or this doesn't sound right. And it's great to have extra sets of ears that I can rely on, because it does keep me in check sonically, and it helps me to get the balance that we need. And I mean, they trust me too. So it's a two-way street. Like if they tell me something's wrong, they know I'm going to fix it. And usually when I fix it, it's done and I know how to fix it. So, when Justin's like, hey, this sounds, whatever word he uses. Fortunately enough, I've been around enough artists to know what those words mean. So it may not be the technical term, but I know what he means. And so, no, but like Marcus is, unabashedly honest and if it doesn't sound right, he will say so. And but you know what? That's refreshing though. I'd rather these guys and, Steph tell me something's wrong than, and I think what it also shows me, which I take great comfort in, is that everyone is concerned and wants the best product to be put out. And that means a lot to me, that everyone is being critical and everyone wants the best product to be put out and for us to be represented the best way we can. And so that means a lot to me too, that we're not letting shit slide. I'm sorry. Quality control is there. ECHOSEVEN has quality control. So that's a long-winded answer to your statement.
oh man, I like long-winded. I like long stories longer, and that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a nice thing about having these long forms. You get to really delve into the making of and who is the band ECHOSEVEN. And I know we only got 3/5 of the band, if I'm not mistaken. Because I see in the videos, and I am a child of the 80s. I remember when MTV used to play music videos. Don't you miss that? But
when it was actually a music channel. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When video actually did kill the radio star. But for you, video is enhancing the radio star. I love the quality. Who is making these videos? Who is producing these videos?
I'll let Marcus, and Marcus is who brought Taylor on, but he can tell that story. But yeah, we have someone who's not me.
Hit it, Marcus. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, basically, I was in a cover band called Madhouse, and we were fortunate enough to have a very talented drummer, Taylor Pennell, and he was also delving into video production. So we brought him out for the Key from Breaking video, just to try him out. It was a trial on both ends. We didn't know what he was. I mean, we had seen some of his work that he did, and we were very sad. It was, the coloring was perfect. The synchronization with the music was perfect and everything else. So we figured, I brought that up to Allon. We were doing, just bouncing ideas off for Born from Ice as well. And we had a vision for that video. And once we gave the song to Taylor, he came back with pretty much the exact same vision that we had, without us mentioning a word to him. So we tried it out with Key from Breaking, and I mean, you saw the results of that video. Again, the colorization is perfect on it. The synchronization, between all the different shots and everything that he did, was perfect. And then of course we used them again for Only I, and again for What was the last one we just did? Blame. Right. So,
you brought up.
He's just, he's a great young guy, a talented young fella. And no offense to Allon, but again, probably, besides Allon and a few others, one of the best drummers that I've ever had the opportunity of playing with, and he's just incredibly talented. And we're very fortunate that to be able to work with him.
It's good to give credit where credit is due, for sure. And you mentioned Only I wanted to talk about that one because most of the songs you have very hard rocking, hard driven, but there's a sprinkling in that video of synthesizer, of keyboard. And I know in that keyboard section, you all kind of hang your heads down while the keyboard is playing. Is it somebody else that came in and provided a little bit of extra synthesizer on that?
No, that was all me. But the reason why everyone's chuckling is because when we were in the mixing days, in my brainstorming idea. Now, you got to understand, like when you're in the studio, Marcus can attest to this. When you're in the studio, things sound better than they should, right? Like when you're in the zone, like things just sound good. Like it doesn't matter how bad and cheesy it is. It just sounds. And so I was in the studio trying to figure out, like Only I, along with Blame. These were songs that when I started mixing them, they just weren't hitting hard enough for me. And I wanted some dynamics. I wanted there to be a build up. Especially with Only I, because Only I kicks in right away. There's no count in or intro for Only I, really. It's literally bang, and there it is. So, I wanted to make sure that there was something that was in the beginning. So anyway, I came up with this piano part for a song. And I don't know if it was Only I or Push Pull or something like that, but I did this piano part, and I was psyched about it because in the studio it sounded amazing. And so anyway, I did the mix, I put it in the drive, and instantly, no one had said anything in the chat all day. Like it was all day. I put the file in there, and everyone was like, "What is this? What is this trash? And everyone woke up suddenly. It was like just shit on a lawn day is what it was. But it was. I had to. Listen, we put most, if not everything, to a band vote, and the band voted that intro was not good enough, so it got thrown out. But yeah, the synthesizer aspects and elements of ECHOSEVEN now are, I've been doing it now so far, and it's just I decided to go that route. I'm a big In Flames fan, and I guess that's kind of where I drew inspiration from with it, where you can mesh the two tastefully without the band element sounding too programmed, because we are all live musicians, and it's very important to keep that sound sonically there. And the way that we track things, we track to a metronome, and we try to make sure everything is in sync and everything else. It makes it easy to add those parts, but it's also about being tasteful and adding just enough where it fits. And I just kind of came up with these little arpeggio melodies and threw them in and try to keep them tasteful and short, but made sure that they added a bit of contrast to what we were bringing to the table. And I think it worked, and no one has complained so far. So I think we're on the right track. I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, no complaints,
the only
man.
complaints you hear is when you give us those mix with those beautiful piano parts. then we get our but like Allon alluded to earlier, it's really it's up to the band to decide. And it's great. Same thing. If I add a guitar part that doesn't work, or if Justin comes up with a guitar part that doesn't work, or Steph's comes up with a melody, we'll all sit down and listen to it, and we'll give, we can, we're all adults, so we can take the criticism, right? We can say, that doesn't really work there. Yes, we might be able to use it somewhere else, but it doesn't work for this. So let's see what we can come up with, and again, it pushes us, right? It's not just to say, okay, Marcus recorded his guitar parts, it's done, or Justin recorded his guitar parts, it's done, and Allon did his drums, it's done. We'll go back and we'll have a listen and say, oh, what do you think about this part here? Can we do something different, and things like that? And it's all constructive criticism that we give each other. And like Allon alluded to, it's really just to come up with the best product that we can, and things that we're proud of, rather than just, writing and creating whatever we, decide to throw out. We still want to make sure that, when we're sending it out to the masses, that it's palpable and, and we're proud of it. All right.
Well, just yesterday, I was remembering years ago, Van Halen had an interview. I think might have been 1979, maybe 80, where they said, "Oh, we're never going to use synthesizers." And then 1983, I might as well jump. All synthesizer, but a wonderful album. Don't be afraid to be creative. I was listening just yesterday to a newer. I don't think it's a really new version of "Hold On, I'm Coming" by Sam and Dave. I think there was a movie that they retooled the old song from the 60s, and it was back in the 80s maybe. But I remember I was listening to it, and I go, was that a sitar? Did they add a sitar to that? Just like a little bing, 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 and then you're done with it. Like somebody saw a sitar sitting in the corner and went, "Hey, put that in there." Okay. So don't be afraid of your creative juices. But, we haven't heard from Justin Larracey too much. Now, would you consider is there a rhythm guitar? Is there a lead guitar? Do you switch off? Is it a battle? Is it dueling banjos? Bing, 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 bing.
No.
Justin Larracey, answer.
No, not really. I mean, like I'm more like the rhythm guitar player, and Marcus is the lead guitar player. I mean, a lot of the riffs that we come up with, I'll swing around with some of my riffs, and we work them out. We work them out a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I come up with, that I don't remember, but then I remember some parts, and then we kind of throw them back together and make sure we record the stuff. Because if we don't, it's kind of I might not remember.
Man, it is nice to have, the two guitars to fill each other out. The rhythm is what's going to get them dancing, and then the lead is going to be the one that's kind of telling a story without the singer. If you don't have the singer, the lead is kind of, doing a little dance together with the rhythm guitar. But, I'm thinking about, what about live on stage? If Allon is doing the synthesizer part, who's going to be doing the synthesizer when you're playing live, or are you just going to throw that out the window?
Yeah, what we've chosen to do for now is, the great thing about the way that the songs are structured is that they still stand on their own without the synthesizers, right? So the songs were not composed with the synthesizers in mind. The synthesizer was done in post-production as a production feature, right? To make the EP stand out and flow, and there be continuity and all that kind of thing. So live right now, we haven't been doing it. In the future, we are working out the best way to bring that synth element to the live performance. So whether that be a sample trigger, or whether we go ahead and have a live performance session playing simultaneously with us while we're playing. We're trying to figure out the best, most organic way for it to work, so that in the future, with the new material that we're writing, if there are elements that are electronic, that we'll be able to trigger them live and truly give the whole production and the whole feel and the whole song to our fans when we play live. So right now, no, but it hasn't escaped us. We've just been trying to figure out the best way to do it, where it makes sense and where we're not a slave to a computer, right? That's the kind of the key, right? Because you still have to, with the electronics, you've got to be you have to make sure you're with the metronome and with the BPM for it to fit. So we have to find the best way for that to work.
It's basically another potential failure point during a show, right? At this point, right? So we're trying to eliminate those and trying to come up with the best, the best way to introduce those elements to the show.
Well, that's the thing about technology. The more moving parts, the more chances things are going to break. So, but for me as a fan, and I know that it's probably improbable, maybe not impossible entirely, but if Allon could have the keyboard sitting behind him and then kind of spin around in his chair, and have the backbeat. Now, now the
Yes.
backbeat could be provided by a drum machine at that particular instance with a trigger. But if you turn around and you're starting to play, and maybe we have a screen set up and a camera facing you, and they can watch you on the screen playing live, and oh my goodness, I know it just adds more to the production. I mean, even me as a lowly DJ, I have my little 32-inch screen always attached and playing music videos. And this Friday night at the Rab, you can sure bet that there's going to be some ECHOSEVEN videos played up on the screen, and the people are going to go, "That rocks," and they're going to go, "Who is that?" I'm going to say, "Oh, that's ECHOSEVEN with the little space in the little underscore in the beginning. Have to put the underscore in there for some reason, just to make it a little bit more difficult."
There's a reason, but yes, I appreciate that you remember it. A lot of people, we do blog interviews, and people like to forget that underscore. So I try not to make too much of a big deal out of it, but it is part of the band name, it is part of the branding. So I appreciate that you remember the underscore.
Oh, this day and age with all this social media, you got to brand. Here I am in Arkansas, still being called KeysDAN from the Florida Keys. That moniker will never leave me because I have built my website, and there's over 1 million pages out there with the word KeysDAN right on it. So there's no changing it. I can't be Arkansas Dan, and you're going to be ECHOSEVEN with the underscore. Why the underscore? Did you ever explain that last time?
Probably not. It's just it's the nerdy sci-fi side of me. It's just an homage to like the old DOS programming where you had like the blinking little underscore, when you type DOS commands. So I just felt it was cool, and I know the underscore technically when you're coding DOS is after the word, not before, but I thought it was cool, and it was something, I thought it made sense at the time, and again, that's just a personal thing that I thought, and I liked it, and so I left it.
Well, I got a band, a guy out of Ireland maybe, or England. I think he's Irish, and his name is Dara, but it's it's spelled Darraughh, like the regular name Dara, but he decided for his band name to be DAR period RA. And I went, that period is wrecking my Twitter every time I tweet it out, because it wants to look like it's a web page. And I know a lot of artists are putting that little dot in there just to be, more nerdy, nerdish. And speaking of nerdish, I'm into gear. What kind of gear? Let's go, Justin. Once again, Justin, what kind of gear are you using? What's your guitar of choice? What are you playing these days?
I play a Jackson. I do believe I think it's an RX.
All right. Why?
The fanciest guitar I've ever bought in my life. So
what is it? What is it? The most expensive?
It's a Jackson.
Yeah, but
it's a Jackson RX.
But
it's
you were
like,
saying you were saying it was something the most expensive you ever bought in your life, or the first one you ever bought, or
yeah,
what?
Yeah, it's the most expensive guitar I've ever bought in my life. So
okay,
pretty penny on it.
Well, okay. I mean, some people choose guitars, for many different reasons, because of the color that, I like the starburst on that. Does it play well? No, but it's pretty.
No, she sounds beautiful. It's a solid body. Sounds beautiful.
So why the Jackson? Why did you cough up all that dough to play a Jackson?
Well, I have a $200 Jackson that I bought. I found it sounded pretty nice for a $200 guitar for me. So I kind of just, when I went to the music store here in Moncton, and I seen the Jackson, I was looking at a couple other guitars, Kramers. I found as soon as I picked up the Jackson, because it's got the active pickups in it, it just sound nice when I do like chugs and stuff.
What kind of pickups does it have? Is it like the single coil or the double humbuckers, or what is it?
It's just like a Jackson edition, like pickup.
All right.
Well, I mean, a lot of people soup up their guitars. I had an Ibanez, a $200 Ibanez. I guess it was a 120. It got stolen. So, and then I had a Squier Strat, a very cheap guitar. It got stolen. all my guitars got stolen. I'm limited on musical equipment. They couldn't carry the big giant keyboard out of my storage unit, so I still have that. Can't play it though.
Jeez.
My 17-year-old daughter plays it very well. Let's go back to Marcus LeBlanc. What kind of gear you toting?
For the video shots and live, I'm basically using the Schecter Diamond Series. Just got lucky, picked it up for a good deal, so I picked it up, and those are stocked with the Fishman pickups and things like that, active pickups, of course. For recording, I typically use I have a Les Paul Studio that I use mainly for the recording. Just it's a bit of a thicker sound and things like that. I also have I've got a Jackson as well, the neck through, and I've got an older Jackson limited series. I think the Made in Japan series from '93. And like Justin alluded to, I mean, back in the day in '93, that was an expensive guitar for me that I ever bought, but I still have it. I still use it for recording and things like that. Amp wise, right now it's 100% Kemper. Using some nice profiles that I found out of that. Prior to that, I had the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, the triple channel, and luckily I found the same revision, same model amp profile basically on the Kemper Exchange. So I've been using that, but more recently, I've always loved the John Sykes sound on the Whitesnake album, like, Still the Night and everything. So lately I've been using the Mesa Coliseum profiles and stuff for recording. So it's just a bit of a thicker sound. It adds a bit more overall, richness, I guess, to the sound, to some of the newer songs that we're recording and stuff. So typically that's what I'm using live and will be used on the next releases.
See, I'm loving listening to the pros who know. A lot of those Kemper, I have no idea what a Kemper is, but if you could be sure that I'm going to be looking it up. I'm going to be finding out what this equipment is, what this gear is. I've heard of a Jackson. I think I've touched a Jackson over at my local guitar shop over at Palmer Studio, or Palmer Music Shop. Always support your mom and pops. I guess Palmer's a little bit bigger. It's not quite as big as Guitar Center, but hey, I like Guitar Center too. I'm trying to get you some sponsorship. Maybe Gibson, Les Paul.
Here's the Schecter. Schecter's right here. See?
There you go.
Wow, look at that, man. That's a solid looking guitar. See, and here I am. Why do you have it? Because it's pretty. No, it sounds good. I'm sure. I'm sure it sounds good. But talking kits, talking gear. Let's go to Allon, McCall, and find out what kind of kit you playing now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got the Yamaha Jazz 5-piece standard configuration, nothing crazy. That's what we record with. Now, parts of X-Ray in Use, we recorded with my Sonar Special Edition. That was a 2-4 6-piece kit with a 26-inch kick drum, and it was a Birch kit. So some of those songs like Push Pull, and I believe I think only Push Pull maybe was the only song that was recorded with that. I think after that I went back to the Yamaha Jazz. The Yamaha Jazz, believe it or not, I love the way it sounds on records. It's not a big kit, but man, the tones and the mids in that kit I can't beat. And so I record with that live. I play with Perform kit, so it's a standard 5-piece again. I use Attack drum heads. Shout out Tim over at Attack, who keeps me in drum heads, which is very nice. I use a mix of cymbals, so I use some Sabian, some meal. I use some pasty. Basically, whatever sounds good. I'm not too with the cymbals, so I'm not using like AAX exclusively. I have some BA Pros. I've got some just regular, like my China is just a regular Wuhan brand China, thin, splash that I use, or China that I use, and it sounds great. Like whatever sounds good I use when it comes to cymbals. But those are the two kits. I'm using the Yamaha Jazz to record, and then the Proform is what I bring out for live shows. I use a Gibraltar double pedal for both. And that's basically it. It sticks. Basically whatever's affordable, because I break them. So I don't spend the money on Vaders and all that, because $34, $40 for a pair of sticks that I'm going to break is just silly. So I usually get the factory seconds. I have no shame in saying that. $2, $3, $4 a pair, and I walk away with a fistful of sticks. And if I break them, I'm fine with it, right? So I'm not crying and boohooing that I lost $40. I can just throw them away, pick up a new, pair, and go ahead and play with them. So that's what I use for my drum gear, and so far so good.
Well, Allon, McCall, I'm watching the video here. I'm looking at it, the Keep From Breaking, where you're out in the snow, and I can see it. You keep it simple. You have the standard 5-piece with 4 cymbals there, and you're, I did see on your Facebook that you had just played, and your hands were so ripped up. How are your hands right now? How long ago was that?
Oh, that was a couple weeks ago. That's standard fare. Listen, I don't usually post when my hands get all blistery. I just thought, like everyone says, content is content. Everything is content. So I was like, okay, fine, here I am. I might as well take a picture and post it. But yeah, that's standard fare for me. I grip the sticks pretty hard. And when I drum, I really go all in and I drum. So, it's, I think that was the Igloo show that we did where that was Igloo. Yeah. So, and it'll probably happen again on the 18th. It is what it is, right? It's just, it comes to territory. I don't wear gloves. Maybe I should start. I do tape my sticks, but still, it's, it happens. It's just part of being a drummer.
Oh my goodness. And even when I was playing guitar, trying to learn my 3 chords, I hurt my little fingers and I felt so bad. I mean, Justin and Marcus, you still feel, have you developed the calluses that guitarists develop, and do you even have feeling in your fingers anymore? Justin, you first.
Yeah, I don't feel much of the strings anymore. I mean, I guess it's the kind of strings you use too. I mean, I don't use anything that's really rough or high grit. More like I use the Cobalt, Arnie Ball Cobalts is what I play with for strings. So I mean, I find they're smooth on your fingers. And if it goes to acoustic, I'll use the Elixirs, because those are like nylon coated. They're not rough on your fingers. They sound nice.
Well, okay, like I said, I'm not much of a guitar player, especially since I've lost all my guitars. But is it picks? Is it finger picking? What are you doing most of the time, or a combination of the both?
I usually just pick
with a medium
standard
pick,
Dunlop picks.
Like a medium, or I was trying to figure out which pick
like
to
something
use.
with a little bend to it.
Okay,
something with a little bend, not a lot.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, Marcus.
Myself, well, it depends on the song. Like for something from, like Born from Ice, then I will. It's a combination of both picks and fingers, but typically it's all picking. And I mean, I was always partial to the Jazz 3 guitar picks. I mean, they're small, they're easy to grip, but the last few years I've actually they're made by Dunlop too, but using the John Petrucci signature Jazz 3 picks. They're a little bit bigger, so I can get a bit better grip on them and things, especially, breaking into the leads and everything else. So that's what I've been using.
So you don't use the pick of destiny then?
No, I'm not worthy of the pick of destiny. That lies strictly with Tenacious D.
Man, I did get one of those.
And the Eddies and the Randy Rhodes and those guys that those are the picks of destiny, guys. I'm nowhere near that.
Oh, I got one of those, man. Those things are huge. They were. I think it got stolen as well. Oh my goodness! Don't put kids. Don't put stuff in your storage unit and expect it to still be there in another month. But Allon McCall, man, do you hold your sticks like like baseball, like what is it, like monkey fists, or do you turn your one hand this way and the other hand this way, or do you bang them like straight on? Because I've seen drummers that'll do both, like jazz drummers especially will kind of go underhanded, or is it both overhanded?
I'm very much a 90s kid, so basically I'm doing the Dave Grohl, just beat the drum head on. I'm not sure. There's a certain way, you don't grab a drumstick as if you're trying to like beat a pinata, right? That's not how you do it. There is a way that you're supposed to hold the stick where you place your four fingers and your thumb on top, so you can get the rebound, especially with your snare hand, and even with whatever you're with both hands, basically, if you're playing your ride or whatever. There is a proper way to hold it so you do get that rebound. So you're not grasping onto it like a golf club or anything. There is a finesse way to do it, but no, I don't do the jet side stick thing. I never learned that way. I never picked up that habit. A lot of great drummers do it. I do not, so it's a very straight ahead approach, but there is a way to play where, you're not putting dents in your drum heads and things like that, right? You can't hit hard without killing your drum kit. So that's, it is possible, but no, I don't do that jazz side hold at all.
Well, I don't want you to limit yourself. My favorite, I'll pick on Van Halen again, because they had that song, Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. They had their cover of that where they did like a jazzy thing. And then, of course, my favorite band of all time, Queen, had all different types of music. They could hard rock, they could pop, they could, do the bicycle race, and I go off to work on Monday morning, there was no limit there. And I know you guys, there's 5 different personalities that are all coming together into one ECHOSEVEN, and it blends so well. And I know we talked about your girl up front there, and I wish she was on, but hey, just her French accent. The people, if you haven't heard, my loyal listener, if you haven't heard ECHOSEVEN, you need to get out there and take a listen, because you hear the sweet voice. She's got the great pipes, but then that little tinge of French just shows up in there, and you're like, oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful with these 4 boys back there just rocking behind her. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful.
Steph is definitely the right woman for the job. I couldn't imagine or think of anyone else that I would front the band. She's done an amazing job. She's taken it on, full on, and it's her progress and progression just amazing from our very first recording till now. So I'm quite, and I've said this in another interview that we did. I'm very excited for the new material, because it's this time around it's much more of a collaborative and team effort, and we all have the show experience together and doing this tour together and stuff. So we're closer as a unit, and so I'm excited to see what she comes up with vocally and lyrically, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for it.
Well, speaking of the tour, are you keeping it tight in and around New Brunswick, Canada, or are you stepping out, going across the country, and maybe even come down south, perhaps?
Listen, we have toyed with the idea of going over the border, for like the past year. I think we've gone back and forth with different concepts and ideas, and we had an opportunity to do Atlantic City, and we had an opportunity to go out west, and touring is not, this, Dan, touring is very expensive. Logistics things have to be lined up and your ducks have to be in a row for it to happen. So, I mean, for this tour, we stayed close to home. We did New Brunswick. We did manage to go to PEI, which is another province here close to New Brunswick. We were able to kick off the tour at PEI, which is really nice. But we stayed close to home and just kept it local. And, and it's been good. It's been a good experience for us, just, doing shows back to back to back. It's something that, I wasn't sure we could, actually put together and pull off, and it all came together. So it's been really good. It's been a great experience. We've had great feedback, clear across the board, from the EP, from the live performances. It's been a great experience. But this year, next year, we're looking to do some festivals. We'd like to be able to travel somewhere. We just don't know. It all has to line up, and things have to be in place in order for that to happen, because we don't want to end up on the side of a road hitchhiking or.
Dollars need to make sense. Dollars need to make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. But we don't want to end up singing for our supper, right? Literally.
Touring's hard on the body. It's hard on the body. It's hard on the family. You're giving people gems. Once you get to a certain place, you figure out, hey, all right, I got my family. I want to be home every night. You can make a living touring around your own area. I mean, I keep it within 3-4 hours away, maybe, when I'm doing my thing. So, if I'm doing a wedding on a Saturday, no more than 3 hours away, but you got to gauge that, whether the money makes sense. That was well said, yeah. Justin. Well said. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys are all, getting families. Are you all family men?
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, we'd love to jump on a plane and go to Europe, a plane and go to the States and do all of that. But, unless it's going to, like Justin said, unless it makes it not sound snooty or cocky or like money's everything, but, tour buses and fuel and food and proper lodging and, all those things do cost. And, it's a lot when you're trying to book shows and, venues cancel, things happen, and so you got to be prepared for all those things as well. So, I mean, I think in the new year, we're going to try to plan some things, but it will be very strategic. It'll definitely be, kind of a fly in, do the show, come back home kind of situation. But yeah, we'd love to. We really, really would. And if the opportunity comes up where it does make sense, then we will definitely be on a bus or a plane or a train, and we'll be there.
All right, I'm going to talk to my 1%.
We're still waiting for a couple of our members to get their passports. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk to my 1%ers that are listening right now. You got way too much money in your pocket. Go ahead and take these people on tour. All right, take them to Hawaii. They deserve it. They're good boys and girls.
Absolutely.
They're good people.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Atlantic City, think bigger. All right, Atlantic City's nice. I'm sure of it. I'm sure. I haven't made it that far north of the Mason-Dixon, but I keep it south. But
there you go.
I appreciate that you're coming back on. You're still putting out that good content, that good content. When I first started, Allon was talking about the new EP, ECHOSEVEN, new EP,
yeah,
X-Ray in use.
Yeah.
I'm privileged to have it. If you're listening to the audio version, I'm waving it up in front of your noses, in front of my nose too, on the screen. It's got a nice CD. How can people get this CD?
Oh, wow. Okay. So you can buy it at any one of our shows if you happen to be in the Maritime Atlantic Canadian area. You can go into Bandcamp. You can buy the digital version on Bandcamp. Or you know what, you can even reach out to us at ECHOSEVENBand.com and, we can arrange to get you a copy, and send one out. So, there are many ways to grab it. You can get the digital, you can get the physical. Just reach out if you want a copy, or like I said, you can do the digital copy on Bandcamp. Or if you're at one of our shows, we have some for sale at the show. So it's, with the CD was something that we all wanted to do, and I wanted to send it out, to you, Dan, and to others in the media when we did our little press, release for the EP, because when I got the CDs, I was really surprised at the sonic quality of it and how much more dynamics there were in the CD than the stream. And I wanted, the media to hear it the way that it sounded and how it should sound. Just really punchy, really in your face, really gritty. And I thought the CD really captured that. So if you can get your hand on a CD, I highly recommend it. I feel it sounds way better than any streaming platform, but that's just me. But yeah, it's good if you can. So Bandcamp, or email us at echo7band@gmail.com, and we'll get you a copy for sure.
Well, you were talking about when you're in a studio, everything sounds perfect in the studio. The way that we did it, when I was helping cats produce in the late 80s or the mid to late 80s, the early 90s, we would take and put them on a tape, first of all, back on a cassette tape, and listen to them in the car. If it sounded good in the car or on your transistor radio, maybe your boom box, then you had some quality, because that's what most people are listening to, or at least they were back then. Now, I guess you have to make it digital and put it in your headphones. I think usually I have. What's that?
It's the same process. The process of listening to your music on different, sources is still the way to do it. So, when I do a mix, I will export it, and I will put the MP3. I will listen to it on various headphones. I listen to it in the studio. I will take it in the car. For the EP, I burned 4 CDs and played them in the car before I was done to get the feel of it in the car and in that environment and on CD. So, I mean, that process is still the same. It's still the same. If you're going to do a good mix, listening on various sources, and like you're saying, the most popular source that people are going to listen to it on, you've got to make sure that it sounds good there. So I have a set of AirPods. I've got, a set of Sony close-in, headphones. So I've got different sources that I'm listening to. And I'm listening to it on, $50 studio monitors, and then, another $2,500 pair of monitors. Like it's all those sources make a difference, because the studio is one thing. It's a controlled environment. If you can hear things in a not perfect environment, i.e. the car, where there's ambient noise, engine noise, exhaust noise, environmental noise, and it still sounds good, then you've done a great job. And so that's still the way to do it. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way that I know how to do it. And it seems to work. So we'll keep doing it.
Well, I know I miss albums and artwork and liner notes. It's nice to have a physical CD in my hands. There's some artwork. You took some time. Who provided the artwork?
That would be me again. Yeah. So the cover, I designed the cover, and the internal shots there. Taylor did the band shot. So Taylor's responsible for the band photo. And we shot that at the Key from Breaking shoot. It was very, very cold, but we did it, and we got that photo done. The other shots there, the hospital, the thank you page, that is, I took that at the hospital. I was at the hospital for an X-ray, and I was sitting outside the room, and I looked up and I saw the sign, and I was like, oh, that would make a cool, EP cover. And so I took the photo. And so that was just a photo that I took, and it was going to be the front photo, but it graphically, it wasn't working. The colors were off, and I couldn't get the lettering to look right. So I opted for the actual X-ray image and then put that on the inside. So that's how all that kind of came about. And,
Wait, was it your X-ray or somebody else's X-ray?
No. I was there for an X-ray, and
So we're looking at your insides here.
No. That's I bought that image. That's a stock image that I had to purchase, but no, that's not me.
Oh
no.
Man, don't tell that story.
I do bleed my ECHOSEVEN, but that's not me. That's a picture that we got.
Man, you should have told the story a different way. Yes, that's you. I want the doctor to take your picture so I can look at you from inside as well.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I just now opened it. I didn't even realize there was inside. I just now took it out of the cellophane. So I guess, all the people at Comic-Con are going to be mad at me because I opened up the box. What's in the box?
No, it's all, and that's where you have it. That's where you have it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I was the guy that opened up all my toys. And look at you. You signed it. I suspect that if people order it online, if we can get all the guys together and the girl and have you sign it, that adds value. That's fantastic. A little piece of you that people can own.
Yeah, no, we wanted to, like I said, you've been a supporter for of us and our music, practically since the beginning, and we just wanted to show our appreciation and send you an autographed copy and just say, hey, we really appreciate you sharing our posts, giving shout outs, reposting, retweeting. It means a lot. And, so, we don't take it lightly, and, that's our way of just saying thanks. So I'm glad you appreciate it.
Well, it costs $0 for people to put out stuff on your social media. So people can find you at ECHOSEVEN.com. Make sure they follow you around. Your YouTube page has your links to your Spotify and your Apple pages. I'll put all the links in the show notes for sure, so people can find you and slide into your DMs if they want to collaborate and find out more about you, man. Because this is time too that we're chit chatting, and man, we still only scratched the surface of who ECHOSEVEN is. The only way to get it is from the horse's mouth, man, straight from you. So ECHOSEVENband.com is the place you ought to be. Yeah. So do you want to give some shout outs to people that have helped you along the way? Justin, Larracey, give some shout outs to some people that have helped you out.
Well, I guess I'll thank my parents for watching my son to let me go to my shows, band practice, rehearsal, whatever you guys want to call it. Thanks for the band putting up with my shit.
Well, that's good, man, to have people around you that can support you. I appreciate that. Good shout outs.
Yeah.
Marcus LeBlanc, give some shout outs to the people that have helped you along the way.
Well, especially to my wife, Nancy, and my daughter, Ty, of course, for, same thing, putting up with me for all these years, being in bands and playing, and always have their support. Of course, my family in that as well. Huge shout out to Taylor for making us look good on video and things like that. And of course, a huge shout out to yourself and all of the other media that has been very supportive and, embracing our sound and giving us the platform to at least introduce it to a wider audience. Very, very appreciative of that. And of course, our fans. We wouldn't be anywhere without them coming to the shows and everything else. So,
all right. And Allon, McCall, give some shout outs.
Oh, man. This is going to get long in the tooth. So first off, my wife, my son and daughter, because much like Marcus, it's been, it's not easy being married to a musician. I know that, and have a musician as a parent. So huge shout out to them, to the band for, trusting me, believing in my vision. If you didn't see it initially, for coming around and seeing what I was seeing. Because I know I'm an intense guy, and I know in the beginning I was like, this is what I want. And everyone's like, really? Because I don't see it. So, I've known Justin for many years. I've known Marcus for even longer. And it's nice to be in a band with friends. And so I appreciate you guys sticking with me and going the course and being a part of this. So thank you, all of you, staff, Luke, all of it. Curtain Call, John have been, it's been a great experience with them, and, be signed under. They've given us complete creative freedom. They let us do our thing, and they support us. And you know what? They like our stuff, and then they've been really good to a good label to be with. And so we're really happy that we were able to get signed under them. For yourself, Dan, and like Marcus said, to all the media outlets that support us, give us a platform to have our interviews and to be ourselves. To the fans, again, like Marcus said, for coming out to the venues that, are take the chance and still have a backbone and put out and shows for original bands. Oh, wow. There's so many. Let's see, Redbubble for hosting our merch. Atomic Disc for printing our stuff, even though, we did pay for it. So I guess there's no reason to shout them out. But, it's nice that they did it. It's one of the things where I just, it's great to have a team, and it's great to have Dan Taylor, he's taken us from, we were doing everything in-house. And to have him come on board and, just take us from like amateur to professional, literally from day one when he's, decided to come on board, he's been amazing. So it's been really good, for us that way. And he's a huge asset for us. And, but yeah, I'm sure the list can go on, but that's basically my list. It's been great. It's been great. I'm looking forward to the next 5-10 years, so we get that long. A beat band, but yeah, that's my shout out list. I'll stop there.
He put a time limit on it, 5 to 10 years, and that's it. You're donezo. You're retired.
Oh, I said 5 to 10 years. We'll reevaluate in 5. We've done 3. By 10 years, right? You figure, we'll have at least 5 albums done, right? And, hopefully have done a nice lengthy tour. And I think 10 years is like the mark when you start putting out like the greatest hits album, right? And, that's when you start going back and looking at the catalogs and putting out volume 1 and 2 and 3, right?
You could be like the Eagles, where they put out their greatest hits right in the middle of their greatest time. I think it was 75, 76. They put out their greatest hits. They were still going, man. What do you mean greatest hits?
Yeah, but I don't strive to be like the Eagles because I really don't want to hate my band members that bad. Right? So I'm trying.
Oh my! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Yeah, I don't.
Give it time, man. Give it time.
All right. Hey, let's do the last words for the people and get up out of here. Justin Larracey, last words for the people.
Well, thanks for all the listeners checking us all out.
All right, Marcus LeBlanc, give some last words for the people.
Same, just again, very thankful, that I met this whole crew of misfits and, we're having fun together, and special shout out to Steph and Luke, who unfortunately aren't with us here tonight. But again, the 5 of us are what make ECHOSEVEN, and just really grateful for all the support and that everyone's given us. It's been awesome.
Allon, McCall, let's give the last words for the people, and we'll get up out of here. And I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. Allon, McCall, last words for the people.
No, it won't be the last time. Just like Marcus said, thank you to everyone, to the fans, everyone who's purchased the record, streamed the record, watched the videos. Just thank you so much for that. And you know what? There's more to come. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. So check us out on IG, Twitter, Facebook. YouTube, and we'll be back soon, Dan. We'll do this again real soon.
Well, there you have it, party people. ECHOSEVEN. Well, 3 out of 5, 3/5 of ECHOSEVEN. Allon McCall, Justin Larracey, and Marcus LeBlanc. I like that. Man. They're good boys, and a nice girl too. So they're good people, and they're giving good music to you. They rock, man. But that little keyboard, that add a little flavor to the songs too. So don't limit yourselves to the hard rock. Even though when you go to an ECHOSEVEN show, you can be sure you're going to be rocking. That head's going to be bobbing. The fingers, up in the air, waving like you do care. Oh yeah, ECHOSEVEN. All right. Make sure you check them out at ECHOSEVENband.com. Hey, I look forward to chatting with you again in the future as time progresses. Now, if you, I'm turning my attention to you, my loyal listener. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.